Well, I put myself in a little situation. I need to use my iPad for school. Historically, the iPad has been criticized for being in a weird spot in Apple's lineup. First, it was basically just a bigger iPhone, and Apple kept messing with what the iPad was to turn it into basically a mini MacBook today. To me, it seems like Apple doesn't know if they want the iPad to be an iPhone or a Mac. There's a hybrid between the two for me, but it doesn't come with the best of both worlds. People at school use Chromebooks as their primary laptops, and I am wondering, since I said this about 1.5 years ago, so that is why Chromebooks deserve to be packaged in the trash. I also don't want to check out a school Chromebook because they are super slow and very old, and I don't want to deal with the lag. I just want to know, can I use an iPad for school? Okay, one of the first things that I noticed is how much lighter the bag is, because I guess MacBooks are a little bit heavier than iPad, plus a Magic Keyboard and a Magic Mouse. Alright, one of the things I do like are the lock screens. They're just like the iPhone, and I happen to like the iPhone's lock screens. And you know me on customization, I can get any amount of customization I like, and then I'll love it. My first block, we usually don't really learn anything and the tests are pretty easy, so I just decided to do some schoolwork. The first thing I notice about using iPads is this. When I click and drag on a word, it is not selecting how I would expect it to, despite me using a keyboard and a mouse. So this is saying that most mobile apps are fully optimized for touch, but not for keyboard and mouse. And keep in mind, this is Google Docs, so this is something I would not expect from a billion-dollar company. Instead, what I gotta do is I gotta click and then drag like that, just like how you would do with your finger. Already not off to a good start. Google, fix your app. Why you do this? You're making the iPad look bad. Now this is a problem I'm trying to fix for myself, probably because I'm using an iPad mini, which probably wouldn't be an issue if I was on an Air or a Pro, but everything is just too small for me. And unfortunately, I couldn't zoom all the way out unless I had an M1 or M2 chip in my iPad, which I don't. Okay, so that first class is done with. Now the next class is going to be a little bit more interesting. AP Computer Science Principles. Now everything we do right now is in the web browser, but when recording this video, we are doing block coding, which is pretty annoying, but it's even more annoying on the iPad. Something I noticed when taking notes is that all of the keyboard shortcuts in Pages are pretty much identical to the Mac version. Now something that is pretty annoying is autocorrect. It does not know when and when not to use autocorrect. I did this hacky workaround to keep it in camel case, and I don't need to do this on the Mac despite having autocorrect and auto capitalization on there as well. We need camel case or else points will be docked off. Now that we have AP Computer Science over with, now we have US History. What we are doing in US History is just working on that assignment from earlier. Something that would make my life a lot easier with this is split view, so I can see the rubric on the right side. But nope, Google Docs does not let us for whatever reason. Now once I painfully finished that assignment, I was looking around iPadOS and I found this fancy animation that I just wish we could have on macOS. Other than the last class with math, where we did not use the iPad for that day. Now, is the iPad good for school? Now, I'm gonna say yes, it is good for school, depending on what you're gonna be using a computing device for. Now, if all you're doing is school, and you're not gonna be using a computer for anything else, except for school, then yes, go with the iPad. Now, you will be able to get by with some things, especially since if you're not used to a Mac, but if you're only using an iPad for school, get an iPad. I would recommend this more than an Intel Mac, to be honest. And for those who are not doing school and want to get a fully decked out setup, I would still recommend getting a MacBook. Now, what do I use an iPad for? What is this baby for me? Well, it's mainly my second monitor, and unfortunately, that's basically what it's probably going to be, unless there's a big iPadOS update that comes out that can basically replace a MacBook, which I highly doubt. You'll probably need to get an M series iPad in order to experience that. Now, if you use the iPads for school, what is your experience? Let me know down in the comments down below. Fully decked out iPad, not a good idea. Or probably better off getting an M1 or M2 MacBook Air. Those will last up the same amount of time, but do way more things. And thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, share this with your friends. Download my apps, Widgetpedia, and Study Direct down in the description down below. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!